The 2025 WNBA season tipped off with an emphatic statement by the Indiana Fever, who dismantled the Chicago Sky with a final score of 93-58. This matchup, though early in the season, felt personal and intense, driven in large part by the growing spotlight on the league's rising stars. Caitlin Clark made her regular season debut unforgettable, posting a triple-double with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Aliyah Boston dominated inside with a 19-point, 13-rebound performance, and DeWanna etched her name into history by surpassing Tina Thompson for third all-time on the WNBA scoring list. Emotions ran high midway through the second half, when a hard foul by Clark on Reese added another layer of intensity to this budding rivalry. Welcome to Gintotski Sports, your spot for all things sports. From legendary moments and big-time plays to inspiring stories and deep dives, we bring you the content that keeps the game alive. If you love sports as much as we do, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. The Indiana Fever entered the game with considerable attention on their young core, and what unfolded was a showcase of team synergy and poised execution. One of the greatest strengths the team exhibited was its ball movement and offensive rhythm. Clark's court vision created openings all night, and the team converted at a high rate, especially when the ball moved inside out. Their defensive efforts also stood out, particularly in the way they protected the paint and contested second chance attempts, making it difficult for the Sky to ever find a rhythm. Leadership and veteran presence were other strong assets. Bonner and Natasha Howard maintained composure during emotional surges, helping younger players stay locked in, especially after physical plays ramped up. But there are weaknesses too. Despite the big win, the Fever turned the ball over in spots where patience could have made a difference. These unforced errors were masked by their scoring runs, but against stronger opposition, such mistakes could prove costly. Emotional discipline also surfaced as a concern during the third quarter incident. Clark's flagrant foul could have shifted momentum had the Sky capitalized more effectively. Opportunities for growth are clear. The synergy between Clark and Boston is still forming and holds the potential to become one of the league's premier tandems. With more reps and deeper understanding of each other's tendencies, this inside-out duo could stretch defenses to their limits. Also, the bench showed flashes but lacked extended minutes. Unlocking more from the second unit can help keep starters fresh across the grueling schedule. However, threats lurk. This team leans heavily on its stars. A minor injury to Clark or Boston could immediately change their playoff trajectory. Also, with such a high-profile opening game, opposing teams will begin to dissect tape, adjusting their defensive scheme specifically for Indiana. If the Fever remains static in strategy, they may find diminishing returns. Heading into their next matchup, the Fever's war room strategy should prioritize ball security, reducing high-risk passes and reinforcing decision-making under pressure during practice could cut turnovers significantly. There should also be a psychological emphasis on maintaining composure during emotionally charged moments, with coaching staff simulating high-tension scenarios in training to build better on-court discipline. Strategically implementing more complex offensive sets will allow them to counteract the adjustments teams are bound to make. Adding more movement off ball and playing through multiple options rather than just Clark as the primary initiator will create layers opponents must navigate. For the Sky, this game illuminated both untapped promise and areas in desperate need of recalibration. One major strength was the rebounding tenacity shown by Reese, who fought for boards consistently even when the outcome became lopsided. That energy, especially on the offensive glass, provided second chances and displayed her willingness to grind in the paint. Youth and hustle gave the team occasional bursts of momentum, but cohesion was lacking. Offensively, Chicago appeared disjointed for long stretches. The absence of effective playmaking meant possessions often devolved into forced shots, usually well contested by Indiana's defense. Defensively, there were lapses in rotation and miscommunications that left perimeter shooters wide open or allowed straight-line drives to the basket. The opportunity for the Sky lies in developing their young talent more intentionally. Hailey Van Lith, in particular, can grow into a playmaker if given more structured freedom within offensive sets. With time and repetition, her role could stabilize a shaky backcourt. If Chicago reviews game footage and identifies patterns in their defensive breakdowns, they can tighten their switches and be more disruptive moving forward. However, threats loom in terms of morale. A blowout loss to open the season, especially against a fellow rebuilding team, can dent team confidence. The coaching staff must build a culture of resilience immediately. In addition, the team's overdependence on young stars like Reese could prove risky as wear and tear and mental fatigue set in over the season. In the aftermath of this defeat, the Sky must recenter on structure and fundamentals. Their strategy should be to simplify the offense initially, run more pick-and-roll actions with Van Lith and Reese to stabilize flow and create more open looks at the rim. Training sessions should include repetition and help defense and transition coverage, as they were consistently beaten down the floor by Indiana. The coaching staff also needs to encourage more assertive communication on the defensive end, ensuring every player knows their rotation responsibilities. From a development standpoint, investing minutes into growing leadership skills among the younger players could yield dividends later in the season. Building chemistry will take time, but intention must guide that process. Film sessions, role clarity, and constant reinforcement of identity should be emphasized in team meetings and practices. As the dust settles on this lopsided season opener, the Fever walk away with validation and a statement win. Their stars shined and their strategy clicked. But maintaining momentum will now hinge on evolving, not relaxing. The Sky, meanwhile, face a challenge not just of improvement, but of morale. Their season will be defined not by this loss, but by how they respond to it. What they build from here will determine whether this is a rebuilding year or one of real growth. All eyes now turn to their next game, because in the WNBA, stories are rewritten every time the ball is tipped. Thanks for watching Gintotski Sports. If that video hit home or gave you something to think about, drop a like and let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that bring the heart of sports to life. Until next time, stay inspired and keep chasing greatness.